voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. And it is a Monday morning. We're glad that you're with us here today. I'm stalling because my computer's not set up yet, and for some reason, Clinton, it's not going.
Right?
Yeah. Isn't that the way that it goes? Computers have Mondays as well. That fire call that we told you about moments ago is on North Bend Franklin Road. It is a gas leak. Indiana firefighters dispatched for that moments ago, and so fire crews are on their way there this morning. Please do be cautious and give them the right of way. It's Indiana in the Morning, and it's WCCS. Information presented on this program is believed to be factual and up to date, but we do not guarantee its accuracy, and it should not be regarded as a complete analysis of the subjects discussed. Discussions and answers to questions do not involve the rendering of personalized investment advice, but are limited to the dissemination of general information. A professional advisor should be consulted before implementing any of the options presented. Encompass More Asset Management is registered as an investment advisor with the SEC and only transacts business in states where it is properly registered or is excluded or exempted from registration requirements. Registration with the SEC does not imply a certain level of skill or training. And Clinton Smith and Galen Bargerstock are with us this morning. Let's get it rolling here. GCES. Guys, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Doing great.
Good to have you both with us, Clint. You just pointed out this Super Bowl day, isn't it?
It is. I'm feeling super today.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good for the United Way of Indiana County.
Yeah. We've, we've supported a lot of different charities at GCES. United Way is probably number one. I did the campaign before. I've enjoyed watching Jimmy and helping Jimmy and Joyce this year. The Super Bowl is today. You can actually still get orders of soup. They have 9th Street Deli, Romeo's, the Hilton HC Craft Kitchen.
I'm seeing how he's doing here before I bail him out.
And there's one more that I'm forgetting.
Levity Brewing.
Levity Brewing.
They've got clam chowder and vichyssoise. Spaghetti Benders has wedding soup. Romeo's has red lentil and pizza soup. C.H. Field's Craft Kitchen has beer cheese with pretzel croutons and creamy dill pickle soup. And 9th Street Deli has Baja chicken enchilada. Some of those are already sold out.
Yeah.
That's a lot more than usual, right?
Yeah, there's a lot more. And I don't know if everyone knows, it's actually a competition to see who sells the most soup. So you want to try to support not just the United Way, but your favorite restaurant that's in it as well. It's $8. It includes a cookie and a drink and a piece of bread.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
They have 500 orders left. So they have 500 orders to sell. You can pick them up curbside, or you can just go into the Hilton and get them there as well.
C.H. Field's Craft Kitchen. That is today from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m.
Yep.
All right. Meanwhile,
back
at the GCES home front, we asked last session if folks wanted to ask you some questions, they could, and you actually got an email of somebody with a question.
Yep. So you can call into Renda if you have a question. You can email Shauna at gcs.us. You can also email mornings@wccsradio.com.
Which is a new address, so
yes,
that's specially set up for people that want to get in touch with us.
Yeah. So we did get our first question, and it's actually one that we get a lot, and it was, how much do you charge for your services?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Shoot.
Well, I mean, to actually sit down and have a review, it's free. So we don't charge anything at all for, just assessing your situation, first time we're meeting up, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And then depending on how we go, if we do securities, there would be a fee for the securities to have a securities account. If we go in the avenue of annuities, there's annuity companies that don't have any charges at all, and there's some that have higher fees. It depends on what you want. Mm-hmm. But initially what I tell everybody, it's absolutely free to meet, and we kind of go from there. And any kind of fees that would be involved, we're going to address them and let you know up front what they are.
Yeah.
Ultimately, no one's ever going to write us a check directly. We get paid from the companies that we represent. We're independent, so we have a ton of different companies to choose from, and it really depends on what you get inside of those companies, on whether or not there's a fee or not. And we deal with a lot of stuff that doesn't have a fee, too. So some people are more worried about the fee, but honestly, the stuff that does have fees tends to perform a little bit better, I would think, and is managed a little bit more closely.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's managed on the side as if we're managing it into a securities account. And, if an annuity has a fee built into it, it's usually for an enhanced rider which would give some kind of extra feature.
Yeah.
like income for life.
And you're doing those sorts of things in order to make money at it for your retirement, and therefore you're going to more than recoup what you're paying in a fee.
Exactly.
Ultimately, anything that we sell, we have to prove that it's better than what the people already have. Yeah. Because we're securities licensed, we're held to a higher standard where we can't sell something if it's worse for the client. It won't go through. We call it suitability. As soon as we write an application or a policy for someone, whether it's an annuity or a security, it goes to suitability first. And that's just to make sure that it's suitable for the client and that it's better than what they already have. So we literally have to prove on paper, this is what they're coming from, and this is what they're going to, and this is why it's better.
All right. So off of that first question that somebody asked you, Galen, I want to develop that a little bit further. That initial consultation is going to not take a whole lot of time, is it? It's not going to somebody doesn't have to say, all right, here goes 6 hours of my day.
Well, I mean, I don't want to limit you. So if you come in and you have questions, there's no specific time frame where I'm going to boot you out the door. But, you know, what I would say is primarily 45 minutes to an hour. But there's sometimes that I've went 2.5 hours just addressing people's questions. So it really just depends on what people ask.
Yeah. Do people with that initial consultation, do they typically bring you a whole big shoebox full of stuff?
Yeah, most of the time. It's kind of been great having all the people come in from the radio show into the office. I really appreciate that everybody is prepared. So that makes the appointment go a lot faster and more efficient for sure. But yeah, no, great response. No shoe boxes, but people have the paperwork. Maybe they got them out of a shoebox. I don't know.
Yeah. And the more they know about what they already have, obviously, the better informed they are coming in, which makes it easier to explain things to them. But you'll take the time no matter who.
Correct. Yeah. And people with, you know, I would say larger employers like state employees, you know, they have great websites where they can just log on, print out their personal information and bring that into me. And that's all I really need. Federal employees, same thing. So if you're with a bigger employer, most likely you're going to be able to obtain your pension information a lot faster than, you know, an independent small shop company.
Somebody who's been working for their company for 30, 45, 50 years, they started when it was a whole different world in which they started when they began to save for retirement. 401ks didn't even exist when some of these folks started working. And so they were sort of grandfathered into the 401k system, but maybe some of them never did get into a 401k. Maybe they started taking out an IRA, and they've been maintaining IRA every year, making their contributions down through the years too, and probably don't even know how much they have in their IRAs. And especially if they did, because you've got the traditional IRA, you've got the Roth IRA, you've also got the transition from Roth to traditional, correct?
Yeah.
Those are three different types of savings accounts. And to put them all together can sometimes seem pretty intimidating to folks, right?
Oh, yeah, it gets worse. There's 403Bs, there's, you know, the TSP, 401ks. So everything is technically titled a little bit different. In my realm, what I'm looking for is tax deferred, qualified, which would be you haven't paid the taxes yet, so you have to pay them when you pull them out, or Roth, where you accumulate that interest tax-free when you pull it out at 59.5. So I look to lump them into categories and then kind of see how that fits for a retirement plan based on your Social Security, your pension. I primarily look for your loss of income, and that's what the outside investments are designed to do. They're to help bridge that gap from a loss to make it positive, so you're making what you're making now for the rest of your life.
In other words, I'm retiring, therefore I'm going to lose that income for my everyday, and so what do I do to replace it, Clint?
Yeah. Well, that's honestly, a lot of people don't know how to gauge retirement and look at it from a financial side. And really, we just base it off of what you're spending right now while you're working. Because typically people want to retire and they don't want to spend less money, you know, which unfortunately sometimes happens. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. But if people have done a good job of preparing and getting ready for retirement, almost, what would you say, 75% of the time, 90% of the time, they end up making more in retirement?
People are a lot better off than they think they are. You know, sometimes people tell me, oh, I have this balance, and they feel kind of ashamed with it. And I'm like, well, that's fantastic. You know, and they don't realize how powerful what they saved really is. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of people that, Clint, they you know, I'm retiring, therefore I'm going to take, okay, what am I paying for cable or for satellite TV? I'm going to cut that package because now I won't have that kind of income. I want to be more cautious. There are people you know, there are people who are liberal spenders and people who are much more conservative spenders, and they get a little bit frightened by the whole idea of it all.
I don't know. Me as a retiree, I think the last thing I would cancel is my TV package.
Yeah, people turn it like they turn it back on.
Yeah, that's what I would be like looking forward to in my free time. Yeah,
my wife would be saying, "Go to the book sales."
Yeah. It's and that's you know, whenever we sit down with people, we look at people. Hey, what do you want to do in retirement? You know, and that's something that Galen even talks to people about, is trying to look forward or look for things to do. Don't just retire and wait for something to find you. You know, the people that stay more active are the people that live longer, you know?
Yeah. Well, there are also people that say, all my life I've been dreaming of having a place down south I could go to in the wintertime and then come back in the summertime, whether that's a camper at some place in Florida that you just pull up to in the fall and then come back in the spring, or whatever that happens to be. People have their dreams. They want their retirement to fund that, don't they?
Yeah, and you should definitely live your dreams. I can tell you that I know a lot of people that have moved south from here after retirement, and I do know quite a big handful of people that move back. You know, so it sounds like a fantastic idea, and then you get down there and it's all new, and then you miss your family back home. You know, so do whatever you want to do when you retire. You know, that's my thing with it.
And that's what you guys are in the business of doing, is setting people up to do that, to do whatever it is they want to do. All right, so we're going to run out of time here in just a couple of moments. We do want people to get in touch and keep feeding you the questions. And they can do it again, Clinton, in a number of ways.
Yep. So you can call our office, 724-915-0000. If you have a question, you can call and give it to any of the staff. You can also call that number if you just want to set up an appointment to come in and sit down with us and meet with someone. You can also email Shauna at gces.us. Shauna's our marketing director, and she will take your questions via email. You can also email mornings@wccsradio.com, and that'll come directly to Renda. And you can also call Renda, but I don't remember that phone number.
724-479-1160 or 349-WCCS. If it's after Indiana in the morning hours, you just want to call 465-4700.
Yep.
Okay.
So you have literally 15 ways to get us your question by 2 Mondays from now.
There you go. When you guys are back with us. Guys, thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Todd.
Thank you.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. 8:25 in the morning. CBS Sports up next. Jake in the newsroom after that.